Hi, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game Return to Dark Tower. I don't own this game, but my friend Pete brought it over the other day and we played it. Here are some photos of what the game looks like. And yes, that is a giant tower in the middle of the table, and is not just there to look pretty or be just a cube tower. It is a full mechanical, moving, audio, visual delight, really, in the middle of the table. It isn't my favorite mechanism, but I am just so impressed by what they built with this tower. You drop skulls in it, or each player at the end of your turn, you drop one skull in it, one little token in it, and that skull might pop out, it might not pop out. That's the dice tower portion of it. But it also lights up. There's a number of sound effects that run through the tower, and it even moves at times. There are times where the inside of it will rotate. And all of this is controlled autonomously and in combination with an app. So you don't need, the app can update on your phone, and the app I think also works really well, the app integration tied to this amazing evocative tower in the game. My favorite mechanism in the game is this concept of advantage. So Return to Dark Tower uses an interesting skill test mechanism where if you go to, say, I don't know if I have a visual example here, but if I go to solve a quest or fight an antagonist or do something that the game is telling me to do, if I'm going to try to do this thing, to accomplish this goal, I have to do essentially a skill test. And I go to the app and I say, this is what I'm trying to do. And the app, there's a few different types of like mini games within the app. You're using the app quite a bit in this game. But typically, the app will say, this is what is happening to you. Like if nothing else changes as of right now, you are going to fight this monster, say, you are about to lose 10 armies, which is kind of the equivalent of health in this game. You're about to lose 10 armies. However, if you have advantage to spend, you can decrease that penalty, that cost. We won't tell you how much you're going to decrease it, but you can decrease it if you use this advantage. Advantage is tied to the different skill tests that you're going on. There's different types of advantage. So, for example, a specific monster might want beast advantage and say magic advantage. So there's different types of advantage that you can specialize in. You can go wide, or you can go deep with a specific one, or you can go wild. Just get wild, and that'll apply to all of them. So your choice before the skill test is which skill test, which monster am I going to fight, which challenge, which quest am I going after, based on what I know about that. I know that the advantage that I could use there is beast or magic or whatever it may be. And so then the app gives you that choice. So that's a choice you make in advance. You go to the app says, this is what's happening to you. These are the consequences of you showing up for this quest or to fight this monster. And then you have the choice if you want to spend some of that advantage at that point in time. Typically, you don't want to save it for later, but it is possible that there might be something else tied to that quest or that mission or that fight that you might want to spend that advantage on later. Because the advantage, you have a certain amount each turn, and then it goes away and it refreshes at the beginning of the next turn. So I might have one beast advantage and one magic advantage to spend on this encounter. So I might spend the beast advantage, and the app updates and says, okay, you used your advantage here. Now the consequence is only 5 armies. You only have to spend 5 armies to complete this. And the reason it's telling you this is that you were either dealing with the consequence. So you're accepting it. You're saying, okay, I will complete this quest or this fight right now at the cost of 10 armies or 5 armies. Or if you can't complete that, if I don't have 10 armies to spend, then that's where I really must spend advantage, or else I am going to take a corruption card. I'm going to gain a corruption card. And that's one of the ways that you can lose the game if you have if you have 2 corruption cards and you need to take a third one. So I'm over describing this a little bit, but what I love about this system is that you are choosing to do the exciting choice that you're making is choosing to do the thing that you might be good at or that you might risk being good at without fully knowing the consequence. And then once you know the consequence, you have this other choice of spending advantage without, again, knowing what the consequence will be after that. That 10 army might change to a 5 army consequence, or it might drop to 0 just by spending 1 advantage. It might drop all the way to 0. You don't know that. And so it's kind of an exciting choice to make. Okay, I'll spend an advantage here. I'll see what happens next. And you read it out to everybody at the table, and you groan or you cheer depending on what the consequences are. And sometimes you spend enough advantage that it does get all the way down to 0, that there is no cost anymore, there is no consequence. You have just completed the task. You have overwhelmed this monster. You have overcome this quest, and you get to move on, maybe even having saved some advantage for the next step of that challenge or the next step of another challenge on your turn. So yeah, really, I'm always loving learning about new skill test methods, and I think this is a really creative one that uses the app really well. I don't think it would work nearly as well without the app, kind of hiding that information from you, but also catering it towards that specific challenge. But with the app, it happens to work really well. So yeah, I love this advantage mechanism in Return to Dark Tower. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have played Return to Dark Tower, or if you've played a similar game, or a game that uses a similar mechanism to advantage. I'd love to hear about that in the comments below. Thanks.